Yeah, everybody's just going to want to know health-wise of the team right now.
Yeah, not great. We obviously sustained another one with Hanis the other night. I'm really proud of him. Battling through that last 30 minutes, he was hurting. You could see him limping through, and for him to still have, 14 and 14, and still made some critical, plays offensively and rebounding the basketball. He had half our rebounds in the first half. So I thought he was tremendous. But we're still a little banged up. We're not sure about his availability tomorrow night. Obviously, Bryson's still out. Desmond, we'll see. He did some of the walkthrough stuff today, so hopefully we can get him back at some point. And then the rest of the guys are still as is.
And just looking at that game film against Wazu, what were you happy with? What needs work?
Yeah, I mean, I was really happy with our effort, and with bodies falling down, with Hanis going out and guys just having to step up and play different lineups. We had to play 4 guards a lot of the night. Even through some foul trouble. A lot of our true freshmen are out there, running around in a rivalry game on the road. But I thought Zoom was tremendous. And I told him in front of the team, I thought it was his best game as a Husky. And not just scoring the basketball, but the way he controlled it, the way he rebounded, the way he distributed, the way he defended. There's a lot of plays, and we showed him on film yesterday. He made the 2 biggest sequences of the game was we call timeout at the end of the first half, and we go 2 for 1. He scores, then he comes down and he has a great chest up, and he causes them to miss the layup. Then he gets the ball back, and he hits Wesley in the corner for a 3. A 5-0 run to finish the half, where he was involved in both offensive possessions and the defensive possession. And then the second half, they cut it to 8, and he got back, and he covered the hole in transition defense. He got the deflection. I think Hanis got it, kicked it to JJ, and Kamari hit the 3. Like that stuff that's not going to get written in the papers, like his chest up and his wall up, him getting back and covering the hole in transition defense. But that's winning the margins. Like that helped us win the game, and I'm really proud of Zoom because he just keeps getting better and better at the details and the little stuff that really helps you win. But like I said, I could go on and on about each one of our guys and things that they did to help us win.
4 games in, are you noticing some trends or points of emphasis with the officiating? Any changes with that?
No, not really. I thought they've been pretty consistent so far. Like they're just like our, like the teams too. Like everybody's kind of working out some kinks from the summer and all that. But I thought, I haven't had a problem with any of the officiating so far.
What did you see from Wesley? Obviously, high in his time here. It felt like we're starting to see him come along, especially from behind the 3-point line.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we always know he's a great 3-point shooter. I knew he was going to play great. Like you could see it in his eyes. Like he was aggressive. He was aggressive from the jump, and we need that. And he's tremendous, like driving the basketball to the rim and finishing. And a lot of times that's how he gets his game going, because he's a bull, man. Like he's a big, strong kid. And so I thought he really sparked us early. Him and Zoom, but him making some of those threes early was huge. He had a big shot off a side OB, that we called. It was kind of, it was a crazy shot, but he made it, and that's what he does. And so, but I thought his aggressiveness and I thought he did a great job defensively too, because they can cause you a lot of problems with their size and their offense. They post up guards, they post up everybody and stagger away. And I thought, him being big and strong down there was one of the keys to the game.
And then kind of looking ahead to tomorrow, if Hanis is unable to play, how comfortable are you feeling with just 2 bigs in the rotation?
I mean, you're never comfortable. I mean, it's hard. I mean, you want to at least have 4. And even with just Hanis, we only got 3 right now. So, but that's where next man up. And like I said before, like nobody cares. Southern doesn't care. Nobody else cares. Like we have to find a way, just like we did against Washington State. And that's where Zoom and Wesley. Jasir came in and gave us some great minutes, like had a big block, against Washington State, and that's just what we have to keep doing.
We know that Zoom is highly super competitive after watching him last year. Here you brought in all these great guards, players of the year in their conference and things like that. And were you curious to see how he would respond to that as one of the few guys that came back?
No, because Zoom wants to win. He just does. And he's, like you mentioned, like he's he's competitive. Like after last year, like he wanted to play with great players. Like every team in our league has those guards too. Like if you want to play at this level, you're going to have to play with 3, 4, 5 other really good guards, and you're going to have to beat them out. And, I knew, first off, I knew it was going to make Zoom a better basketball player because he's practicing against those guys every day. Like, you have to bring it. And vice versa. They have to bring it to play against Zoom every day too. And just like the competition, iron sharpens iron. And I really think that competition through the summer and the fall, not only helped Zoom, but it helped Desmond, it helped Wesley, it helped Kamari. It's helped our freshmen a ton. JJ wouldn't be ready for this level if he wasn't going against those guys every day.
And of course, injuries are part of the game, but have you been hit with more than your share so far?
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't honestly, and most of them are like non-contact. Jacobs was non-contact. Mahdi's was non-contact. Zoom hit his kind of shoulder and head on the floor. When he got his concussion. Dez stepped on a foot. Hanis was a non-contact. He rolled it planting, and so it wasn't like he stepped on somebody's foot at Washington State. So it's just fluke deals. Hopefully we're getting them all out of the way here in October and November. But I've never been through anything like this. But I will say like this, and I told our guys, I give them credit, for our guys, they just, whoever we have just comes in battles. They do. I have no problem throwing Cortland or Jossier in a game. I trust they're gonna compete. They're gonna execute what they have to do. I trust if we have to play JJ, Cortland, Zoom, and Dez 4 point guards basically, I have no problem with doing that because I know the effort and the fight that they're going to give.
Had you ever played that lineup
No,
yet?
no.
Practice?
We hadn't. The last 2 games, there's been some lineups that we haven't been able to practice. We haven't been able to practice 5-on-5 much the last 5-6 weeks, and so especially to play small ball lineup, we don't have that luxury right now to, we can do a little bit in 4-on-4, but it's still different when you get into a game and you have to execute and the crowd's going crazy, and so, like I said, I give all the credit to the players. They're the ones out there making plays and scrapping and like I said, finding a way to get it done.
How excited are you to get Dez back, and do you think he'll play, or is that where do you think?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I'm actually going to go meet with the trainer after this. He is looking a little better out on the court. And so, like I said, I'll know here probably in the next hour or 2. But I'm really excited to get him on the court. He's a dynamic player. He's got great experience. He can make other players better. He's big. He's strong. He can get the basketball to the paint, and he can really score it. But he can collapse a defense, and be able to get other guys shots and help his teammates be better.
The last time you saw him on the court, kind of with everybody, was when?
It was probably first or second week of October, maybe around October 8th, 9th, something like that.
Have you ever had your team? Yeah, I mean the team that you're envisioning, all out there.
No, because Mahdi got here after summer. Christian got here the last week, and so we didn't even have those 2 in the summer. And then by that time, Mahdi was already out, and then Jacob went down quickly after that. And so we haven't had all 14, 15 guys together on the court at the same time.
I just want to ask you really quickly about Hanis. Obviously, it's early. It's only through.
Yeah.
It's a small sample size, but he's averaging 12.8 points. If he sort of does that, that's gonna. I mean, that's a lot of rebounds here. What makes him such a good rebounder?
Effort, and he's really, really smart. He's got great instincts. He's always going to the offensive glass every time. And he has a great knack of timing. He sees the game, what's going on. Sometimes bigs don't even see that the ball's being shot. He always has an eye, so he knows the second that ball's getting shot, and he's got a great first step to the rim, to get away from his defender. And he's always going to that backside, and he's just, like I said before, he has magnets in his hands. He really does. He's got huge hands, and he does a tremendous job high pointing the basketball. And he doesn't bring it down. A lot of guys come and it gets tipped, he grabs that thing, and you can even slow it down on film. I mean, he's 6 inches above all of our guys when he goes and gets some of those rebounds.
And then you had talked about this at the beginning of the season. I think right now you've got 5 guys who are averaging between 15 and 10 points. That you said that everybody's number is going to have to shrink in it. What's sort of led to that idea of, Yeah, like you're spreading the wealth. Like there's a whole lot of folks who are eating.
Yeah. So like how do you get them to do that? Or like they have, if they want to win, that's what we have to do. You know, like we have so many talented scorers, and they've been scorers at their other institutions. But now it's what does the team need to do to win? You know, we can only take one shot every possession unless we get the offensive rebound. And so it's really guys like enjoying each other's success. And that's one thing, like you watch Kamari Peterson, you watch when Hanis scores or when Zoom scores, he's like the biggest cheerleader in the house. Like he's fist pumping, like he's going crazy for their success. And it's awesome. And I'm not saying our other players aren't doing that, because they are, but he's one that really sticks out on film. Like he's genuinely excited when Zoom makes an and one, you know, or Wesley starts getting going, and he's always the one coming to the huddle. Coach, we got to get Wesley a shot. This is coming from a guy that was player of the year and averaged like 19 a game and was one of the most productive point guards in the country last year. You know, and I should say combo guard because that's what he is. But, you know, like that's got to be everybody. That's got to be everybody. And it has been everybody so far. You know, it has. Now we got to continue to do that, especially when adversity comes and Big Ten play comes. And like I said, we're going to hit some walls. That's when the chemistry and them cheering for each other has got to be even stronger.
And then I didn't ask you this last week, but this game or this series with the Cougs here is it going to happen next year?
I have no idea.
What is the future of this?
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. The only stuff I know about next year is we got 3 tough games in Maui. I know we have Baylor coming back, and we go to Utah. I don't even know the rest of our schedule. But with that, I have no idea.
Is it a series or rivalry that you like, that you want to embrace, that you want to keep going, you know, or
If it's best for our program, yeah. If it's not, then no. Like I have to make decisions for UW basketball, and if it is, then great. If it's not, if it doesn't benefit us, then you know we're already playing 15 quad 1 games in League 2. You know, so like there's a lot of dynamics that go into it. But like I said, I love the rivalry. I love being 2-0 in the rivalry too. You know, and I'm not taking a shot. Like I think Coach Riley does a great job, but like they're fun games. Like they are fun games.
But quite possibly that could have been the last game with the Cougars for some time.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then ask you this also. We're in sort of like the open early signing
Yeah.
deal. Do you guys plan to bring anyone in?
Not as of right now. Not as of right now. And a lot of it's different timing. You know, right now, like in high school, like there's going to be some elite kids sign, you know, or some other kids, but you know, like a lot of kids are holding out too, you know, and waiting for the portal or to see who teams sign or who comes back to whatever teams. And so a lot of stuff does happen late. There's a couple kids that we are recruiting still, and if they do sign, great. If they don't, we'll just continue to recruit them and try to get some guys late.
Yeah, and we had talked about that before, like just the idea of signing people early, and with the transfers going on right now, is that something that may go away, and like these signings will happen after the season as opposed to beforehand?
I don't know. I wish I could tell you, because and it's hard, because like especially with high school kids, you know, I mean, like I said, you see a lot of the G League players signing, right now. You're seeing a lot of guys that played professionally in Europe coming over and signing. Like that's just taking high school kids' spots, and the portal's already taken a lot of the high school kids' spots, and so it's kind of I feel bad for a lot of the young kids, the high school kids that have to navigate a different route, because there's a lot of high school players that could play Division I. I'm not saying like in the Big Ten, but Big Sky, Big West, Mountain West, that aren't getting that opportunity. They might have to go D2 first, or they might have to go JUCO or prep school in order to find that route. Just because, like Cortland and Jossier, like they're practicing every day or playing against 23-year-olds, 22, 23-year-olds. And it's hard. That 4-year age difference, that's a big difference in your physical makeup, your mental makeup. And so, I don't know how it's going to change. I don't know if rev share is going to change it, and who knows if even rev share is going to change, to be honest.
I didn't mean to hold the microphone this long, but are you now recruiting the G League?
Yeah, I mean you have to. I mean everybody is, in the country. Yeah, like if there's players that are interested, I mean you have to listen. And you've probably seen, obviously Santa Clara. I think they're the only one that has somebody that's playing right now. But there's been like 2 or 3 other kids commit recently. I think one went to Louisville. One may have just went to BYU. I could be wrong on that. Was it BYU? Is that who got the big kid? Yeah, and so there's, a handful of, probably more than a handful of other guys that are looking for colleges.
And then what's the update with Christian? Like he hasn't been around in a while.
Yeah,
so
just
do you expect
just
him
an
back?
internal deal, right now. Yeah.
So, with the injuries that you have, does that change your offensive or defensive sets at all, or do you still stay the same style, same tempo?
No, it's changed our offense a lot. Like we've had to, kind of just, play a motion and just kind of let guys go a little bit. And that's where I thought, we made some really tough shots too. Give Washington State credit. I thought they guarded us pretty well. I thought Zoom made some tremendous shots. Wesley made some pull up. JJ, Kamari, like they made tough shots, over their defenders. And but that's what great players do. And that's why we recruited them to do that. That's what they're capable of doing. But it has been because we haven't been able to get, Zoom reps at the 4 or Wesley reps at the 4. So, like, we can't run a lot of our stuff because they don't know it. Even out of bounds or side OB stuff. Like, we have to keep it very, very vanilla right now. Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Coach?
Any like a quick scouting report on Southern for people who don't really.
Yeah, they have the 5th fastest pace in the country right now. Like, they're very good, and I made sure our team knew that. That's why we went back in after practice today. We watched their, kind of a lot of their first half against Marquette. They're a very good team. And if you look at the last couple of years, they've won like 3 or 4 guarantee games. I think they beat Mississippi State 2 years ago. Last year, I think they beat La Tech and Tulsa. Maybe like they're a very well-coached team. They play 13 deep. Their point guard's a tremendous player. They're big, like they're athletic, and they play extremely fast. Off a made or a missed, they are flying up the court, and they're taking the first open shot, and they're crashing the offensive glass. And so, like, we have to be very, very good in transition defense and guarding the basketball without fouling.
Yeah, just 2 things. Wesley broke out against Washington
Yeah.
State. What was different? And Kwamari, it just seems like every time I see him, he gets better and better. And he has that look in his eye that I don't know how to describe it, but
Yeah.
he seems like, I don't know, maybe you're a tough guy.
He is. I love the kid. I love all guys, but like Wesley is, like I said, he got the same shots he did against Baylor. In fact, he might have got better looks against Baylor. They just didn't fall. It was just one of those nights, and that's the one thing I love about Wesley. Like, he's not going to stop shooting. He's not going to stop being aggressive. And that's the one thing I told him. I said, that's one way that I'll take you out of the game is if you're passing up shots. We need him to be aggressive. Like, that's what makes him special. And Kamari, like I said, he's just the same every day. He's a great teammate. He's a tough kid. He does all the little stuff right all the time. In practice, in games, like he's always putting his nose in there. He's always in the right place defensively for the most part. Offensively, he's very, very skilled. He's one guy, when he drives it and it's clogged, like he gets rid of the ball right away. He never takes that extra dribble and we can't get a shot because he took the extra dribble, or he takes a dribble too far and the defense collapses and rakes it. And so he's just a damn good basketball player.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.